Let's dive back in time around 5000 BC to a land between two rivers, Mesopotamia, where the foundations of civilization were being laid. Picture this, a vast, flat plain crisscrossed by two great rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. This land, known as Mesopotamia, translates to the land between two rivers. Geographically, it's nestled within the modern-day Middle East, stretching across parts of Iraq, Syria, and Turkey. But its significance? Oh, it's much more than just a piece of land. Mesopotamia, a veritable cradle of civilization, was a hub of human progress. Its fertile soil, nourished by the two rivers, was a bountiful canvas for early humans to paint their dreams. Dreams of settlement, of society, of civilization. And it's here, amidst these verdant plains, that the formidable civilization of Sumer was born. Now, let's introduce our main characters, the Sumerians. These were a people with a knack for invention and innovation. Around 3500 BC, they began to build permanent settlements, which over time evolved into bustling city-states, each with its own ruler. These city-states, such as Uruk, and Eridu, were some of the first of their kind in human history. Imagine a bustling city teeming with life, the air thick with the scent of freshly baked bread, the sounds of merchants haggling, children playing, and the distant hum of hymns from the Ziggurat. These were cities pulsating with the rhythm of human life, the heartbeat of civilization. But the Sumerians were not just city builders. They were pioneers, carving out the path for future civilizations. They were the first to develop a system of writing, invent the wheel, establish schools, and even create a system of laws. In essence, they were laying the groundwork for what we now understand as civilization. And so, in this fertile crescent, the seeds of civilization started to sprout, giving rise to the first city-states of Sumer. As we delve deeper into the story of Mesopotamia and Sumer, we'll uncover the rise, the fall, and the enduring legacy of this truly remarkable civilization. Stay tuned, because the journey is just getting started. As we move along the timeline, around 3000 BC, Sumer is not just surviving, but thriving. This ancient civilization, nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, was blossoming into a powerhouse of innovation and progress. Picture this: a sprawling landscape dotted with city-states, each a marvel of planning and architecture. These city-states, often ruled by a single king, were the foundation of Sumerian society. They functioned as independent entities, each with its own government and deity, yet they shared a common culture and language. Now imagine being a Sumerian scribe. Your tools, a stylus and a clay tablet. Your task, to etch a series of wedge-shaped marks into the clay. This, my friends, is cuneiform, the world's first known form of writing. A revolutionary system that allowed Sumerians to record everything from business transactions to epic tales of gods and heroes. But the Sumerians were not just literary pioneers, they were also agricultural innovators. They looked at the arid, unforgiving desert and saw potential. With a bit of ingenuity, they transformed this barren landscape into a fertile oasis. How, you ask? Through the magic of irrigation. By constructing a network of canals and ditches, they diverted water from the rivers to their fields. Suddenly, the desert bloomed. Crops flourished. The once impossible became possible. Food was abundant, allowing the population to grow and the society to flourish. And so, Sumer thrived. The city-states grew in size and power. Cuneiform script filled countless clay tablets. Fields of wheat and barley stretched as far as the eye could see. The Sumerians had turned the impossible into the everyday. With the advent of writing and agricultural advancements, Sumer was on the fast track to becoming a powerful civilization. And as we'll see in our next chapter, this was just the beginning. The best, as they say, was still to come. However, every civilization has its peak, and for Sumer, this came around 2000 BC. Sumer's decline was not sudden, but slowly unfolded like a piece of parchment weathered by time. The first blow came from within as internal conflicts and power struggles between the city-states weakened the unity of Sumer. The city walls that once stood tall and protected the Sumerians from external threats could not guard them from their own discord. Just as the internal conflicts were reaching a head, a new force emerged on the horizon. The Akkadians, led by their ambitious king Sargon, descended upon Sumer like a storm. With an army as relentless as the desert sun, they swept across the city-states, marking the beginning of the Akkadian Empire and the end of Sumer's golden age. Yet the fall of Sumer was not an end in itself, but rather a metamorphosis. The Akkadians did not merely conquer, they also absorbed. They adopted many of Sumer's advancements, from their cuneiform writing to their irrigation techniques, ensuring that the legacy of Sumer lived on. And what a legacy it was. Sumer's contributions to law, religion, and culture were as vast as the Mesopotamian plains themselves. Their legal codes influenced future civilizations, including the ancient Greeks and Romans. Their religious beliefs, etched in clay tablets, reveal that they were monotheistic, and their rich culture, embodied in their art, literature, and music, continues to captivate and inspire us today. Even their language, though lost in the sands of time, lives on in the words we use today. The word cuneiform, for example, comes from the Latin cuneus, meaning wedge, a nod to the wedge-shaped marks made by the Sumerians in their clay tablets. While Sumer may have fallen, its influence continues to echo through the ages, shaping the world as we know it today. Now, before we wrap up, here are 5 intriguing tidbits about Mesopotamia and Sumer that you might not know. First off, let's talk about the wheel. We often take it for granted, but did you know the wheel was first invented in Mesopotamia? Yes, indeed. Around 5,000 years ago, the clever folks of this region developed the wheel, not for transportation initially, but for making pottery. It was only later that they realized, hey, these could be great for chariots. And thus, the wheel's role in transport was set in motion. Next on our list is the world's first known law code. Hammurabi, the 6th king of Babylon, a city in Mesopotamia, was a bit of a stickler for rules. Around the 18th century BCE, he created a comprehensive set of laws, known as Hammurabi's Code. It included 282 laws covering everything from trade to theft, and even had a clause for medical malpractice. Talk about forward thinking. Third, the Mesopotamians were the pioneers of writing. The Sumerians developed a system of writing known as cuneiform around 3200 BCE, marking the shift from prehistory to history. It began as a series of pictographs but eventually evolved into a complex system with hundreds of characters. It was used for everything from administrative records to poetry. So next time you pen down your thoughts, remember the Sumerians. Our 4th surprising fact is about literature. The oldest known piece of literature, the Epic of Gilgamesh, hails from ancient Mesopotamia. This epic poem, written in cuneiform, tells the story of a king named Gilgamesh and his quest for immortality. It's a riveting tale of friendship, loss, and the human condition. Lastly, the Sumerians were the first to develop a mathematical system based on the number 60, which is why we have 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in an hour. So the next time you're watching the clock, remember the Sumerians. So there you have it, 5 fascinating nuggets of information about a civilization that continues to captivate historians and curious minds alike. As we step back into our time machine and return to the present, let's take a moment to appreciate the incredible journey we've been on. We've traversed the sands of time to the cradle of civilization, Mesopotamia, where the tale of Sumer unfolded. A tale that is as fascinating as it is profound. The rise of Sumer marked the birth of urban life as we know it. It was an era of groundbreaking discoveries and innovations, from the invention of the wheel to the development of the cuneiform script. A society that thrived on the banks of the Tigris and Euphrates, Sumer was the beacon of progress in a world just stepping out of the shadows of prehistory. But as with all great tales, Sumer had its twilight too. The fall of Sumer wasn't the end, but rather a new beginning, a stepping stone to the emergence of new civilizations. The legacy of Sumer is etched in every corner of human history. Their influence permeates our modern life in ways we rarely pause to acknowledge. From the concept of time divided into hours, minutes, and seconds, to our current system of law and governance, Sumer's imprint is indelible. We've also delved into intriguing tidbits about Mesopotamia and Sumer. The existence of a sophisticated sewer system in the ancient city of Uruk, the creation of the first known author Enheduanna, and the remarkable fact that Sumerians enjoyed beer through a straw. It's these unusual facts that make history so captivating, so alive. In this brief journey, we've barely scratched the surface of the rich tapestry that is Mesopotamia and Sumer. But even this glimpse is enough to instill a sense of wonder and respect for our ancestors who laid the foundations of the world we inhabit today. From the dawn of civilization to the intriguing tidbits, Mesopotamia and Sumer continue to be a fascinating chapter in our collective history. Until next time, this is 10-Minute Timelines signing off.